So hey guys, and welcome to Explain 11. So another premiere, which means I'm flying in the real world. And for those who don't know, or didn't watch the premiere this morning, I am heading to Greece for my 20th birthday. So my birthday was actually yesterday on Thursday, but I thought we're going to spend a whole week over there. And so yeah, making a stop in two places, Athens and my main stop, the island of Lemnos. Or for those who know Arma 3, then Altis. Although that I'll talk about more during the flight, as well as a few other things. So, flying the Q400, like I say, with Olympic Airlines, and this is the FlyJSim model, one that's it's been up and down these last couple of months, especially since its release, maybe an X-Plane 10 aircraft, but ported over to 11. But my first time featuring on this channel, so I'll be sure to talk about that as well. So, currently in Athens Airport. Like I said, this morning I landed in Athens with Ryanair, and my plan today would have been to head to the zoo before heading back to the airport and then flying with them tonight. So, without further ado, we'll start to set up the aircraft, getting this ready to go. Currently looking into that and have already filed the flight plan and all that. So let's actually start the smart cars passengers with virtual agent. Not allowing to use too much, but might as well for the sake of adding a few passengers and extras for the flights. Otherwise, it's master battery on, main battery, auxiliary, and standby on. It sets the warning lights if they do come on, no needs. And then it's generators 2 and 1 coming off. Boot air, we'll bring on the 2 engine intakes. What else do we need to turn on the... Yeah, these stay on, these are the pilot static, pitot tubes. Make sure that my warning lights are deactivated. And then let's carry on with the overhead panel setup. Right, so first things first, set up the fuel, weight and balance. Right, fuel on board the aircraft today, we need 2,009 kilos. Fortunately, since we only have two fuel tanks, that is not a hard one to get up. Oops, get 2,009 total, done, and apply. Let's now get rid of the pushback tug, sorry, the what's it called, the fuel truck, so ground handling, you can disappear. And then seatbelt sign, we can now turn on, which is here. Turn on the seatbelt, no smoking while I'm at it. And also make sure that the passenger heats are currently zeroed out. Because the Q400's got its own little interesting setup with the fans and whatnot. Again, something I'm sure we'll be talking about today. So I'm sure we've all seen the comment from the Q400 pilot on Reddit that one time, and how it became a bit of a meme in itself. Anyways, let's start up the APU. So generator and be there on start. Not sure why none of the overhead panel lights are coming on, but I know what they're doing at least, which is the very basics. Well, that comes on. Let us start with the flight. So currently at LGAV. Why can't I type anything actually? On database. There we go. Right, so LGAV sets. We're currently at Athens. That's not a bit we matter though. If we go to flight plan, let's plug this all in here. So LGAV to Lemnos, Lima Golf, Lima Mike. Company routes we won't do. Well, actually, I may do. We'll see how the setup goes. Others we are Olympic Airlines 266. Execute that. Go to legs. Let's see what can I actually do for the routes. Here we go, via and to. So actually I've got some slot below. When I go to the routes, it directs to Nevra. Execute. Via, let's see if I can do this. So Golf 33, yes, to Lima Mike Oscar. Execute that, because that is the main bit of the route done, directs to the airport. And yeah, that actually seems to have worked out quite nicely for me. Lupus, Lima Mike Oscar. Departure will be runway, it's one heading to the north, it's that one over there. I never remember the numbers for Athens airports. It's 3 right, And the departure I need is a never departure, if that's possible. Never 1 Juliet. Check the legs if that fits. Yes, it does. Execute that. Approach can do once we're in the air. And now, if I can even possibly find... Alright, target, speed and altitude. Transition altitude, altitude limits. Well, I'm going to 19,000, but I don't know if that actually will do anything. No, so it's like maybe manual speed and altitude, as long as the aircraft can control my navigation. I've never really understood the default X-Plane 11 FMS. I should really learn it at some point, but could be worse. Alright, so anyways, we're done with that. I can work all that out later. Gonna fly at 19,000, so if I go to the altitude set at 19. It's not a very high cruise, but it's not a very long flight either. And the Q400, not exactly the world's biggest aircraft. I mean, this will be the smallest aircraft I've been on for a commercial flight. Well, actually, I have been on a Q400 before, but this was many, many years ago, and I don't really have much memory of it at all. So, yeah, it's a bit of like a throwback to old times back when I was in Poland, like I say, a couple of years a lot younger. Flying Eurolot, I believe it was, but they went defunct a couple of years ago. I've only really got one mental image of that in my mind, and that was the image of like a propeller, just looking out the window and seeing propeller. There's Altis, so I've listened to that, 13612. See if we can get weather updates. 1 to 2.8, so I'll switch that around and then tune. Oh boy, it's going to be one of those weird awkward drag ones. Right, 0.120. And it's 136. Come on. And then tune that.
Athens INTL Airport Eleftherios Venizelos information.
Oh boy, it's going to be one of these conflicts ones again.
1500 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10.
Well, with that being said, you don't actually hear much of the
scattered.
actual voice comm ones. So we'll tune out of that. Switch down my barometer is set as well. It should be in millibar, so we'll set that up as well. There we go. And let's do a weather check of Athens. Right, so 1013 altimeter, that's fine. Few clouds at 2500. Otherwise, visibility looking good. Other than that, I believe we'll actually now be ready for pushback. Like I say, I'm going to do a bit of a more manual setup. In fact, if I set my vertical speeds to about, from takeoff, it'll be 2800 will do. And as we climb, I've got to be very careful to not go too far. We've got to manage my speed for the departure. Yeah, this aircraft's not equipped for steep approach. It's not too bad into Lemnos, quite flat ground. A few hills to the west of the island, but to the east it's fairly flat. Also over water, so not an issue for us. Right, the APU's on, I can confirm that from the lower panels being at 9. So if I turn it on my position lights, and in a moment we'll set the exterior lights to red, as we will soon be ready for pushback. Packs come to off. Air conditioning, the bleed stay off for now. Generators 1 and 2 can stay on the AC control, that's not a problem. Yeah, I believe we are now ready for pushback. So if we go pre-plan that, better pushback will actually start pushback.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Whoops, completely messed that one up. Start that again,
Ground
shall
to
we?
cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
A little more, there we go.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
And this will announce that I'm going to push and start stand B 57. And there we have it, the pushback tug will now come to position, attach itself to the aircraft and get us ready to go. So we're on the APU power, ground services can actually probably all go now, so show control widget or drive away. Close the door. And what else do we require? Pardon me.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Right, ready to connect. Wing stay off. That's all fine. That's all fine. That's all fine. Right, we'll be ready for pushback as soon as the aircraft is ready to go.
Winching strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Releasing parking brake. You could actually hear the sound of all the vehicles disappear as soon as the parking brake releasing the aircraft was being moved. Alright, don't need to see these online anymore. And since we've announced our pushback, let's bring the engines both to norm. And then as soon as we're ready,
and you may start engines.
Engine 2, bring these to life, and engine 2 starts. Prop should come to life if I've done everything right. Yes, I have. There we go. As soon as that one's done, we can now switch it to engine 2 start. Engine 1, sorry. That propeller will start spinning. There we go. And there we have it. Engine 1 has started. So startup checklist for the Q400 on X-Plane when compared to the actual official Q400 startups, a little bit different. So you normally have the generators turned on, well, for the sake of X-Plane 11, due to the fact that this isn't exactly the number 1 aircraft for X-Plane 11. It does require a bit of a different startup. So
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
That's fine. Packs come on. What else do we need to set? That's all fine, that's all fine, that's all fine. Strobes all set. Taxi lights come on, we start taxiing. Generators are fine. Parking brake set. Ice detection fail, that's fine. Disconnect. Left thrust and right thrust. That's also not a problem. This is where things get a little awkward because I now need to set a axis to the prop, because on its own it will not release. So if I set that to prop, give it a bit of a wiggle, and then get rid of it again, I am now free to set both of those to max as required for takeoff. Flaps down to 10. Trim should be on takeoff trim already. The bit to check that is down here.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Sounds good. And then there goes the little red pushback tug there. So what else I need to set? Ice section fail. I'm not quite sure where that one actually turns on, if I'm totally honest with you, but as far as I'm aware, it should be alright, especially once we start moving the propeller. That's all off, that's all fine, that's all fine, that's all fine. Aircraft looks secure. So now it's taxiing to runway LGAV. You've given me the thumbs up, that's all good. Parking brakes to make sure it's released. We are rolling. A little bit of prop, and the taxi lights can now come on. And yes, the Q400 does have an automatic spoiler that does come up when you are on the ground. Alright, propeller comes up a little bit. Don't want it too much, but enough to get the aircraft rolling. There we go, that will do. And then go the flight crew down in the back doing their own briefing. So taxi runway shouldn't take me too long. I'm making a right hand turn here and then taking off runway 03. No one left, no one right. So we've got the TVS 551 there. So we'll probably be behind you, floating in the air there. Obviously in FSX. Oh no, you might actually be parking to gate at this point, because you aren't exactly in the taxiway in front of me. Right, so runway should just be ahead of me. Flight time is 55 minutes. I actually had that in as well right now. It's a 55-minute long flight. I'm flying the Q400. Literally anything could happen. It's very, very light on the stick, this. Oh yeah, so I might spoil this to taxi mode, since we are underground and actually require them. Once we get to the runway. So, as far as I'm aware, you're focusing in the middle of the sky, but in your case, you're currently on the ground right now, holding short on that taxiway, presumably allowing me to pass. So, thank you very much. We'll continue. So I don't think the Q400 actually came with any actual auto throttle or any of that, so I say your manual. It probably does have some VNAV capabilities, but not so much LNAV, and therefore will be manual throttle the entire flight. So manual control of the prop, manual control of the throttle. Yeah, I don't think I really need to require to feather any of that. Flaps sets to 5 degrees, which is plenty for takeoff. Winds, I'll do a quick weather check in now, because I didn't get the winds from before. Winds are 4 knots, 250, so very light, not a problem for us. 129.8, okay. Right, idle throttle there. Be very careful because actual idle on this stick is for reverse. Quickly show who's online. I'm sure there was no one actually there in the first place, unless he's just joined. 129.8, okay. Oh boy, 129.8. Right, hold here.
FlyJSim 37, καλησπέρα, είστε ελεύθεροι για το Bilbao, μέσω ρίλι με ένα τάγκο, αρχικό επίπεδο το 80.
Yeah, okay, so he's Greek centre. I'm sure I'll go off with me some other airport. I'll double check that later. Good evening.
FlyJSim 37, επανάληψη σωστή.
Good evening, Greek Centre. This is Olympic 226 with you at Athens.
Station calling, say again your percent, please.
Olympic 226. Presuming it is Olympic, the call sign.
Olympic 226, καλησπέρα, are you ready to copy FR clearance?
Ready to copy IFR to Lemnos.
Olympic 226 clear to Lemnos via Nevra 1 Tango, initially to flight level 80 and squawk is 7247.
Clear to Lemnos via Never 1 Tango departure, and it's please repeat squawk for Olympic 226. So set the squawk up as well as turn that on.
Olympic 226, last complete squawk 7247.
7247, oh boy. 7247 7247, oh gosh. 3 4 5 6 7.
Ολυμπιακή N37, απόσπαση και κίνηση κινητήρων εγκρίνεται με το πονότιο. Εγκρίνεται η απόσπαση και κίνηση κινητήρων με το πονότιο, Ολυμπιακή N37.
7247 for Olympic 226, requesting taxi to runway.
Olympic 226, Rimba correct, continue to taxi to 03 right via Charlie Delta 2.
Charlie Delta 2, Olympic 226. Cool. So, put the throttle back in. Let's now actually go to the runway.
Last station calling for taxi.
Right, so I'll keep the show online panel a little bit longer, just in case someone does come online. But yeah, we do have got a centre in Athens. He may actually come as far as Lemnos, gives the landing clearance there, so that should be pretty good for us as well. Means we have active tower for the entirety of our flights. Yeah, little dual prop plane here, surrounded by some of the big guns of aviation. With certainly not a massive force. But hey, a lot of these Greek island hops do use a lot of these smaller aircraft, I must say. Right now in the area. Not an aircraft I'm flying just yet, but one that I do fly enough. It's always out for those call signs, to be fair. Right, runway is to my left now. Oh yes, and the turn cycle on this thing's not great by any means. Delta 2.
Adrian 563, clear to Samos, Arma 3 Alpha, initially to flight level 80 and squawk is 7251.
Right, so cancel the hot short point now. We shall idle throttle. Hold position here.
Adrian 563, Riva correct, startup approved, local QNH 1012.
Wait for the comms to quiet down. Olympic 226 is ready to depart. Olympic 226 is ready to depart.
Olympic 226, wind is 250 degrees for north, runway 03 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, Olympic 226. Right, so we've got our takeoff clearance now. Let's enter the runway and let us now leave this place. A little bit of throttle in, just to speed us onto the runway. This is active, and both landings and departures using the same runway today, so I don't want to delay anyone too much. Like, I don't go too fast, just in case the gear gives up on me as well. There's one thing that Q400 did have as a feature, I guess, was a collapsible landing gear every time you flew it. Alright, so line self center properly. Engines 50%. All looks good. Full throttle. Good bit of rudder in to keep it center, but winds aren't too bad for me. V1. Rotate.
Sky Travel 551, holding short
Nice
of
and
runway
center. Gear up. Flaps up come as well.
Sky Travel 551, and holding forward sorry, free right.
And set up the autopilot. Flight sets, navigation, and vertical speeds. There we have it. A little bit shaky, but for the most part, that'll pretty much do us. I'll actually load those bits, therefore we don't stall out. So 2,000 will do for me, or 2,000 thereabouts. And there we go. Athens Airport behind us. We'll start our next point. We should actually start it now. So let's quickly go to my directs 2 and set that one up. I'll never understand this aeroplane. I really won't. Hang on. I know what's wrong. I need to set my nav source to that. Nope. Nav source to that. There we go. Now we should follow the magenta line. Like I said, the Q400 is not my main aircraft to fly. It's not my go-to. But I am slowly learning the basics. Alright, slow the throttle, don't overspeed this. But not enough that we start slowing down either, so balance that one out. Was that for me? Proceed direct to Nevra, Olympic 226. Yes, it was for me. Right, so let's go to my directs 2, set Nevra on. Whoops, set Nevra as my direct, executes. There we go. And I presume that Delta 266 echoes our current waypoint. So we'll get back onto the flight plan and then continue our flights from there. There we go, left hand coming in now.
Olympic 226, do you copy?
Yes, Olympic 6 does copy.
Olympic 226, confirm Nevra and climb to flight level 190.
Direct to Nevra and 190 for Olympic 226.
Thank you.
You may have missed my feedback there. Anyways, we've been clear to our cruise actually anyway. Airspeed's fine, climbing's fine, all looking good. We've got left turn very shortly. And that left turn will then take us to the rest of the route. Look at the left hand side, that's mainly the view of the gear looking down. And for the most of this flight, I think we'll just be flying over the water. We may get to see the island of Agios F Stratios, aka Stratus from Arma 3, on the left hand side, but for the most part, like I say, it should be just a straight and level flight. Yeah, it's not quite visible to us just yet on the edge there. I'm sure once it does, you'll certainly recognise the shape of the island for sure. Right, full throttle back in again. Since we are losing a bit of speeds. And I could probably nose if I want to do slightly, but it's not really required just yet. We're already on the standard altimeter. And we soon pass 10,000 anyway, so that's going to come to us very shortly. Pardon me again. I do apologise. I've had this cold now for the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to avoid coughing, but really it's a pain. Especially because I am going to Greece in 2 days at the point of recording this. It's on Tuesday evening I do this video. I fly Friday morning. Anyways, turn off the seatbelt sign. Passengers now be free to roam around the cabin. Otherwise, everything is looking pretty much perfect right now. There we go, looking good, looking good. So, the FlyJSim Q400, like I say, originally an X-Plane 10 model, they've done a few fixes to it, bring it back into modern X-Plane 11 standard. And it's led to a few minor changes. For example, you now have to use the pop-out FMS rather than the default built-in one. That does now nothing, it's just a blank screen, none of the buttons you can click on. But other than that, it does the basic job. I mean, there's the new Q400 V2 coming out. Well, they've teased it, but it's still a little while away from development. But for the most part, it's looking good. It's looking really good. So that I'm very much excited for. But in the meantime, V1, it does the job.
Sky Travel 551, turn left, proceed direct to Dumbo, climb to flight level 380. Sky Travel 552 left, direct Dumbo, and proceed 30.
Yeah, again, another look at my airspeed. So 244 we're very much stuck at, I guess. But it may be worth lowering my altitude a bit now. Now my climb to 1,500. Just for the sake of helping with the speed. There we go, we are Sierra X-Ray Oscar Bravo Bravo SXOBB. Basically just picks a random tail code and hope for the best. I'm not sure which one I'll be taking in real world, but I think they have like 16 of them. Q400s in Olympic Airlines. They have 16 of them, I believe, so not too many to choose from. Well, they also have a few ATRs as well, ATR 42s, I think they have one or two 72s as well. Although, in this region, it's usually Sun Express that fly the ATRs. But no, it's a very beautiful plane, this. It really is. I don't quite know what turn that was for, but it's still en route at least. Double check the map, it's all looking fine. As long as we're heading north, that's all that matters. Although the island actually is now coming into view now, so I believe this is the only. Oh yeah, there you go. This map's a bit more of an outline. So you've got the island of Stratus, just Stratios, although without the airbase. The airbase is just an extension that they built in Arma 3 for the sake of well, gameplay. But Altis or Lemnos, it's known. It's 75%. So Altis is 75% the size of Lemnos. So Lemnos is actually a bit bigger than Altis in game. But in terms of like the layouts, the roads, the scenery, all that kind of stuff, basically exactly what it is today, which is what I find really fascinating about it. Likewise, when two Bohemian Interactive developers went here on holiday a couple of years ago, just before the game released, they were actually arrested for espionage, for taking 2 photos out of a couple of thousand. Hang on. That was for me. Please repeat, 226.
Holding 226, proceed direct to Lima, Mike, Oscar.
Direct to Lima Mike Oscar, Olympic 226. Oops. Right, so we'll go direct. It's nice to see a bit of a jump there. That being our last waypoint, we'll have to sort out an approach as well. We'll start talking about later. So as I'm saying, yeah, so two Bohemian Interactive developers who went there on holiday soon before the game released, yeah, actually got arrested for espionage because they took a couple of photos of military installations out of several hundred other photos they took on the island as well. So, note to self, Drawyah, do not take photos around the airports because you'll likely be arrested. Especially the island of Lemnos, because it is close to Turkey, from one of the Greek islands, they have got a couple of military installations there, just for the sake of defence. I mean, Turkey and Greece don't have bad history, but Turkey recently have had a few foreign policy shake-ups, as well as the recent elections there, so Greece have been a little bit on guard, to say the least. And I'm sure flying in the Greek evening, the Greek sunsets, this will be beautiful on a flight to remember. Even if it isn't a noisy old Q400, I'm sure I'll be in a really chill mood actually, I will say. Just relaxing, getting ready, I'm on holiday. I'm now 20 years old. It's the life, it's the life.
Direct Lemnos and climb flight level 270. Ryan, Mike.
Direct Lemnos? They're flying overhead, fair enough. I'm already at cruising altitude. We'll be here for a little while. Yes, we do, loud and clear, Olympic 226.
Olympic 226 over Lemnos, expect VOR DME of runway 04 right, report ready for descent.
Expect 04, and we'll report when ready. Zero 04 right, so yeah, that does make sense actually. We'll stick that in now. As for our approach, we'll talk about that later on. So 67 miles to go until we get to 67 miles to go until Lima Mike Oscar. And it's immediately our last waypoint, which is behind us, 70 miles away, 60 miles away.
Athens radar, hello.
Yes, it does sound like that Athens will also be going our approach into Lemnos. And that will always be, like I say, a nice extra bonus for our flights. So I don't quite know what approaches they have here. They don't really have a LMO, so yes, it will be nice to kind of get the actual approach in. Transition MO1 and MO2, so we actually have a bit of a transition. I don't think there's a plan mode, so I can't go step by step, see what the approach looks like. That's what it is. And while this is heavily based on the Boeing 737, I don't think we have the we might do, hang on. Index, status, no. Database, yes. Oh. Ooh, something's frozen. Oh, for crying out loud, X-Plane crashed. That's annoying. Right, fortunately because this is a premiere, I can just stick the aircraft back in its last position and work my way around that. So I do apologise for the quick crash. Nothing major has been missed. We are back in our same position and set up the aircraft to what it was doing beforehand. So we should be at 19,000, speed's alright. Probably a little slower than we were before, but for the most part we should be alright to continue these flights. The tracker's a bit of a mess on Project Fly, but it seems to be doing alright now. Cool. Right. Make sure that we actually tune into center as well. So it's 13612. 129. Here we go. Alright, so it's 129. Whoops. Points 2, was it? Hang on, 129.8. I should probably read that before I do anything. Cool. Hello there, Athens Centre. I do apologise, my simulator just crashed on me. I've got it back to the former position and we'll continue flying to Lemnos if that's alright with you. Right, so we'll continue for a little bit longer before requesting our descent into Athens. We are tuned in right. 129.8, 129.8. Right, that should be enough. I've noticed that Gunnar's tuned in as well since my antics. So I better be on my best behaviour, especially for the rest of this flight. I don't quite have any thing to descend on. Well, I presume being at 19,000, we'll wait until we're around the position of Altis, position of Lemnos, before we do descend, or even when we get to around Stratios. We'll start our main bets, and there's no one here at Lemnos, should be alright. 7261. 7261. I don't like this old way of doing things. Very tedious. Anyway, set it on 7261. Yep, no problem. Continue. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ugh. Yeah, when I fly in the real world, the airplane crashing, or the airplane crashing is something I should worry about, but not so much the simulator crashing on me. Like, the whole world just goes black, for instance. Unfortunately, because I am recording everything, yeah, I get to know my position exactly. So if I show you how the map now looks for me, because it's very awkward, like I say. Show desktop. Hang on. So, took off as normal. That's my current flight path. Then the sim crashed. So I teleported back in, and then get myself into position. And that just kind of happens naturally. But yeah, I've kind of lost that little leg, but that kind of fits it back in. It's only a small deviation. It's not as bad as it could have been, to be honest. And we'll start requesting descent shortly. Because we aren't too far away now. Estimated time of arrival 5 minutes. Olympic 266 is requesting descent instructions into Lemnos. That's all correct as it should be. Yes, it is. Taillights can come on now since it is the night time. Parking brake as well. Just get rid of that. No, everything should be alright. In fact, make sure the landing lights are off as well. That needs to be done. Voices not initialized. Please. What? Oh, don't tell me that escort box has died on me. Set up audio. Voices not initialized. Please refer to manual for further advice. Let me it's gonna get so awkward. Disconnect. reconnect, send flight plan, receive and transmit voice, send. Okay, I cannot seem to do audio now. Going to need to type. Requesting descent instructions into Lemnos OA266. My whole system's completely buggered. 129.8, that is correct. Microphone's gone. Pretty a little close now for descent, but we can work around that. In fact, the island's probably coming to view there. Descent to 3000, 1011. Getting a little fast notice as well. Altitude down to 3000. Down to 3000, 1013. Okay, so it's basically standing altimeter anyways. So start of our descent, let's get our ways down. We've got no manual supplies, don't think. Nope. Can't even toggle that switch anymore. Oh, don't tell me the cockpit switch is going to start messing on me. It's very weird. Every time the simulator crashes, it kind of just messes things around in small little ways. We're at 20,000 now as well. We should have been at 19. Minor little things. Let's just start descent now. All I know is that it will be requiring me to circle Lemnos for a little bit. In fact, that's our short final bit there. I could have reversed thrust, but that's certainly not the thing I'd ever want to do in the middle of the air. Yeah, there's the lines down below. There's the airports. Coming a little too high. We'll work something out. Down to 3,000 feet per minute. There you go. Is that voice? Let's have a look. Next squawk box, set up audio. Voice is not initialized. Do you find any further advice? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Something just seems to be broken mess with me right now. I can probably make 3,500 feet per minute descent without much issue. So by the looks of things, we're going to pass over the airports, make a left-hand turn, kind of come back in on ourselves, and then make a right, which takes us back into the airfield. It's a very weird approach, but I'm not complaining. It means I just got a bit more time to lose a bit of speed, to lose a bit of altitude. A little high for it, but I'll go for the first stage of flaps. Let's use some drag to the aircraft. Assuming it's done much, I don't think it has. I'll never understand the Q400. It's a very, very odd plane. Probably the fact, again, this is built for an older simulator will have some effect into it, but yeah, the Q400 is not exactly one that many pilots enjoy flying. We're passing through 10,000 now. Bring the landing lights on. A little fast, but we'll manage again. Otherwise, yeah, here we come. So I've got VFR scenery on here. We've got a bit of what's it called? A bit of ortho tiles. Our descent rate I'm really going to drop now, 1,500 feet per minute. Throttle still stays idle, not reverse again. And there you go, speed is now dropping, so that should get into a bit more of a safe level in a couple of moments. Right, down below 250. Where is the runway right now? Runway is very much behind us. Down to 10,000, 1,000 feet per minute. Let's go manual heading. Just get us back on track for an intercept into the runway. There you go, co-pilot's got a visual of the runway. And the flat's now taking a bit more action, so we have to slow down enough for them. In fact, our speed's pretty much fine now, to put a bit of actual normal throttle in. Another right turn. Bit of Lemnos again, sorry, Stratios, visible to our left again. I set that heading again, so I can get onto an intercept. And with that, if I now set my next waypoint to that, because technically we're not actually at LMO-8 yet. I think that's what the aircraft's trying to look for, so if we can just continue with that, eventually the aircraft will get back on track and then know where it is. 3,000 pretty much spot on at this point. Actually low descent a little bit more. 1,500 will do. .140 knots, so not too slow. This is about landing speed actually. Stall speed of this is around 110, I believe. It's 100, 110. Although flaps out, we'll even slow that down a bit more. $1,000 to go. Probably should make sure the seatbelt sign is on again, but since the crash that may have automatically happened, the answer is... oh no, they both turned off. Yeah, so I think it's nav's not going to do me much help. Keeping it on heading. It's about the only way I'm going to be able to keep this flight on any sort of flight plan.
2500.
25? No. Level off. We should be at 3000. Alright, so it automatically doesn't hold when you do reach your turning altitude. Good to know. Good to know. It's a learning flight, this one for me. Very much learning. I'm presuming that the real world Q400 pilots I'll be with will have a bit more training in this aircraft and therefore know what they're doing. Unlike I am, quite obviously. The moment I announce that I'm established, keep that ready. Once I am ready to announce I am. Gear down. Another stage of flaps. In fact, let's turn off autopilot entirely. Let's now focus on a landing. So gears down, flaps are set for landing. We're coming up to final now. Just need to adjust the trim actually slightly. But tower has been informs that I am landing. The aircraft does drift to the left slightly. It's a bit of a gyro drift. 1000. We're bang on the glide slope there. Worst case scenario. Sorry, too much traffic. Roger. Landing 04 right, LGLM, no other traffic. Just to make it a bit easier for him, so we'll basically steal a landing slot in. Well, he's a little busy, so I just have a chance to kind of get in, not quite straight at the runway. There you go, wind 0 knots, runway clear to land. Clear to land. Right, well this was a hectic approach and a half. Let us seal it off with a good landing, I guess. At least the best I can do in a Q400.
400. 300.
Whoops, bit of reverse thrust in the air, but an acceptable landing nevertheless. And there we have it, reverse thrust cuts. Well, who doesn't say that's its best learned practically, eh? This was a hectic flight, I will be honest, in all stages, from sim crashing to not quite understanding how everything works. But I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a bit of fun flying the Q400. I'm certainly gonna do this a bit more actively on my own streams and whatnot. No, it's actually a lot of fun that. 285 landing, I will accept that for Q400, as long as the gear didn't collapse, we can walk away from it. We should be alright, so left hand turn, get us off the taxiway. Do a few replays and whatnot, and then bring this one to an end.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep your seatbelts fastened. The captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. Make sure you've gathered any personal
Taxi lights on, landing lights off. Flaps back up. And then it's power, generator, bleed, start. Military only. Gosh, we are going to need to make a left turn now. Thank you Q400 for being an all-terrain aircraft. Yeah, it's not too difficult to get around the Lemnos airport. I mean, I've played Arma 3 enough to know the layouts. And like I say, it's more just the distractions of flying Q400 that slow me down sometimes. So it's a left turn here now I've got to make. Yeah, not a reverse thrust again. Yeah, taxiing this thing has never been easy for me, let me tell you that for a fact. Even back when I was doing my practice runs and whatnot, I've not been able to do this one properly at all. Maybe my return flight on Wednesday, so Wednesday evening I fly back. I'll try and make a bit more sense out of this. Right, now passengers need to be on the left hand side when we deboard, so they have to come to the end and then swing the aircraft around so that the exit may face the door. So follow the taxiway there. And we'll take a nice spot close to the terminal, since we are going to be the only flight tonight to deal with. There we go. And what's here? Right, how's one to half these engines? There we go, just bring them off really. Right. Welcome to Lemnos. Whoops, that's just the power switch. Yeah, a second, there we go. Yep. Engines off, aircraft is secure. Lights that need to come off are now the taxi lights and the anti-collision. This can come off as well, position lights since we have stopped. Seatbelt sign come off as well. As for the aircraft, we're using this menu, not the AVI tab. Open the door. And ground handling, share control. No need for the bus, but we will go for the cargo and for the fuel as well, actually, because there will be a return flight back to Athens very shortly. GP as well, drive up. And then let's get rid of the AP power. So set, and off. Yeah, that's all poured out. Cool. So, give it a few seconds, like I say. Let me actually tune out of everything. So, Adrian will finish that flight. Looking good. It was only a half an hour flight, that. 35 minutes full time, including the crash. So, it wasn't terribly slow, I must say. Go for this flight as well. So, complete flights. Looking good. Yeah, the whole crashing in the middle is going to be a slight pain, but it happens, I guess. So we'll now disconnect from that sim as well. So X walk box, disconnect, close the door as well, just for the sake of replay. Yeah, those alarms will be annoying because they don't light up. They don't light up. I know what they press, but they just don't do anything. One of the downsides from the transition from X-Plane 10 to 11. Anyways, short finals here. So let's go for the left-hand side, propeller sides. And also the coloration of X-Plane itself is already pretty good, but in less than 3 days, I've seen this with my own eyes. So sad to see one of the picture I'm very excited for. Just the whole Greek sunset, really. Never been to Greece before, never been this far south before, so certainly will be something for me to soak in and remember. So enter the threshold. All looking good. A little while in the reverse thrust there. Again, and shoot a stick where the actual back bit is reverse thrust. Normally I have to press a different button for that, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Not a bad landing by any means. Let's have a look at it from the other side. So, going to the short final. Not much lighting, I must say. Although I'm sure once we get close to the ground, we'll be able to see the gear a little bit better. Well, yeah, that's looking pretty good so far. Coming in nice and low. A few sync rate calls, but that's nothing too problematic. Yeah, not really looking at much, I'm afraid. Let's go for the exterior view. I'm sure that we all care about the most. Coming to a short final. There we go, all looking standards. Landing lights set. Airport's looking good. Because as always, actually, X-Plane lighting is still the best. Like, seriously, can't beat this. I know it actually looks like in Arma 3 the night lighting. Night lighting in Arma 3 is pretty good. I can't lie about that either. And yeah, that looks pretty good as well in Arma. So, that I'm sure I'll have a chance to look at as well before I head out. Anyways, like I said, a bit that will interest all of us. Let's see the final. Nice and shaky, nice and wobbly. About right for Q400. Yeah, a little firmer than most, but I ain't complaining with that. It's a good enough landing. It's a good enough landing. Yeah, give the alarms their moments. There we have it. There we have it. Welcome to Lemnos. Welcome to Altis. Let me just go turn these off because they will just ring out forever until you flip the switches. So, like I say, I'm going to be here till Wednesday. If you're interested in what I'm actually doing out here, then do check out my other channel, Europe Overload, which is basically my new vlogging channel for all these trips away. I'll stick a tag in the top right corner for that one, so if you're interested, just click on that. But no, it should be a pretty good trip out for this. I mean, for me now, I've got to catch a taxi to the main town marina. See if maybe it's like, I'll probably check into a hotel first. And see if there's like a nice place to have a quick dinner or something. But no, it should be a good trip this. Should be a good trip. It's been a lot of time walking around, a lot of time hiking. And trying to like, match the places in the game to the real world as well. So that I'm sure I have a lot of fun with as well. But like I say, for the most part, we have landed now. And my holiday starts here. So, I will now bid you all a farewell. So do have a great weekend. It's now Friday night. So do have a great weekend. Thank you very much for watching. Do leave a like if you did enjoy. Do subscribe. And I'm sure I'll see you guys again in the near future. Thank you and goodbye.